Hello, my name is Jeremy Thomas and I am the coordinator of both the Abingdon Science Partnership and the Developing Leadership Programme at Abingdon School. This short presentation is an explanation of how you could achieve an additional certification as a result of your involvement in the Abingdon Edge mentoring programme, which will give you a certificate of short course in leadership provided by an organisation called ASDAN. So what is ASDAN? ASDAN stands for the Award Scheme Development and Accreditation Network. It's a registered educational charity and it's regulated by Ofqual, the Qualifications Authority. They provide largely vocational and life skills qualifications rather than academic ones. If you're more interested in what ASDAN does and the whole wide range of courses that they offer, you can find out more at their website, which is quite easy to remember. It's www.asdan.org.uk. What will you need to do to complete the course? That is the ASDAN Short Course in Leadership. The good news is that you won't have to do very much more than you are already doing as part of your mentoring programme with the Abingdon Edge. What you will need to do is to assemble a portfolio of evidence of the activities that you have completed or taken part in. In the image here is an example of a question sheet that was developed by some previous mentors on a previous science mentoring programme who all gained the ASDAN Short Course in Leadership certificate. So the evidence that needs to go into your portfolio needs to be in electronic format, as we will be using the e-portfolio option. But this could be simply photographs of you delivering a presentation, for instance. It could be a PDF file, it could be a scan of a piece of work that you've done or a plan of a presentation that you've made. It can be a Word document, it can be a slide presentation that you've made for one of your sessions. Just please be careful that if you do use photographs that you ask for permission from anybody that is featured in the photograph apart from yourself to use in your portfolio. You'll need suitable pieces of evidence to show for each of 4 challenges for level 2 of the Short Course in Leadership certificate, which is the most appropriate one for the types of activities that you are carrying out. If you do 3 suitable challenges for level 3, then you could either add level 3 on to level 2, or you could just do level 3 instead. I'll say a bit more about the difference between these levels later on, but essentially level 3 is about evaluating the work that you've done rather than delivering the actual programme. You'll need to upload the evidence into an ASDAN Learner e-portfolio, which I mentioned, which we will provide for you once you're registered. So let's look at level 2. What needs to go into your e-portfolio if you are going to carry out level 2 of the Leadership Short Course? So you'll need a piece of evidence for each of the 4 challenges listed in this table on the right hand side. This level is called Be a Leader. So this is why it's most suitable for your mentoring activities where you are leading the activity itself for younger pupils or with a team of other mentors. You need to complete 4 challenges and the time that you take for the challenges is flexible. The minimum that you need to do is 10 hours, but you can do up to 60 hours. Each 10 hours that you do will give you 1 more credit. I'll explain a little bit more about that in a second. But you must do 4 challenges to earn 1 credit. Challenge 1 is simply to lead an activity. Now you can't see the drop downs here on this screenshot that I took, so you can't see the examples, but you will all be leading activities at some stage in your mentoring program. So this could be standing up in front of a group of younger pupils and delivering an activity for them, or it could be leading the planning of an activity with your fellow mentors. Challenge 2 is about teamwork, building and organising your team. So again, hopefully you will have a chance during your mentoring program where you'll take charge of at least one activity. But this could be leading a team where you've got a team of younger pupils and you're leading them through an activity as part of the mentoring. Challenge 3 is simply to keep accurate records. So just to document what you've done. And if you're coming to the short course in leadership after you've started the mentoring, I'm sure you've already got documents and evidence and things that you could go back to and collect together to show that you're keeping accurate records, even if it's simply like a diary entry to say that you attended a meeting, or a note that you've made of something that you were asked to do. Then just keep evidence of all those things. Challenge 4 is to collect the evidence of your planning, the things that I said earlier, PDFs, photographs, PowerPoint presentations, anything that you've done that can show that you contributed to this. Don't be too worried about having the exact type of evidence. It's just as long as you've got a broad range of the things that you're doing in your mentoring, they will cover all of these different challenges. The important thing is to record the time that you spend on each challenge. Now, it could be 30 minutes on challenge 1 and 3 hours on challenge 2. It doesn't matter, they don't have to be the same time, but to get 1 credit, you need to add up to 10 hours of work done altogether. Now, don't forget that that doesn't mean just standing in front of a group or leading a group of younger pupils for an hour every week. This could be any preparation and planning time that you've done outside of those hours as well. Another thing that you will need to do is to complete 1 skills sheet for one of the challenges. I'll explain more about skills sheets in a few slides' time, but all this means is that for one of the challenges, you will have to choose it and plan it in advance and then review what you've done afterwards. You'll need at the end of level 2 to complete a summary of achievement form, which again I'll show you in a little while. And as I said, you'll receive 1 credit for every 10 hours of work. So it's very important to keep a record of the hours that you spend on this task. You will easily do this though each term. If you think how long a term is, and if you're coming to a 1-hour session a week, including all your mentoring, training, etc., then that easily adds up to more than 10 hours. It may not add up to 20 hours for 2 credits, but say you carried on for 2 terms or more, then you will get the hours you need for more credits. So moving on, let me just show you some of the forms that you'd have to fill in. This is really the only extra bit of work that you'll need to do. So as I said, for every 10 hours, for every 1 credit, you will need to do 1 skills sheet. So you choose one of the challenges, and what you do is you simply fill in this planning sheet, which has got questions on there, which are probably things you're thinking about anyway, describing the activity, how you plan to do it, what you will need to carry out that plan, who else is involved, when your deadline is, when it will be done by, where you're going to do it, and then it's signed off by you and your tutor, which will probably in this case be me, with a date. It is important to fill in the little box there, tick box that you can see with skills that you plan to use, because during the short course you should try and demonstrate this whole range of skills. But the things you're doing in the mentoring course will easily cover these. The ability to learn, working in a team, problem solving, using some IT skills. That doesn't mean coding, that means using spreadsheets and presentation software. Literacy, you'll be reading things, you'll be explaining things to people, you'll be delivering instructions. And numeracy, that's maybe the hardest one to cover if you're not doing any kind of maths workshops or things with the people that you're mentoring. But it could be simply things like, adding up the hours that you've used in your course, or anything that involves numbers. When your challenge is finished, then you'll then need to fill in the second part of this form, which is the review. So you need to say what you did, what went well, what could have gone better, changes that you made to your plan, who helped you, and evidence that you gathered for your portfolio. And again, that's signed off. So that skills sheet has to be completed once for every 10 hours of work. So if you did 20 hours, but only one skill sheet, you can't have 2 credits. Okay, so to get 2 credits, you need 20 hours of work covering the 4 challenges and fill in 2 skill sheets. You have to choose 2 of the challenges to fill in a skill sheet for. The other thing that you need to do right at the end, when you've decided that you're ready to submit your e-portfolio for certification, you need to complete this summary of achievement. So you would need to do one of these for level 2 and one of these for level 3 if you decide to do both levels to get more hours in. The form is quite long in this case. It's the bit that's probably the hardest work that you'll have to do. You can see here there are 3 sheets to fill in, but it's all the kind of stuff that you need to think about in your skills development anyway. It's things about some evidence, how you feel about how your ability to learn has improved, how your teamwork has improved, if any problem solving that you did, any IT skills that you developed, anywhere you used literacy and numeracy. And then at the end there's a personal statement section you can see in the 3rd sheet there. And this is a really useful thing to reflect on anyway. So this is something where whatever you write in there, you could probably then take that and put it into any other personal statement that you write in the future for a job application or an application to do a course at a college or a university. So it's all really, really useful stuff, and it doesn't have to be a long piece of work, just a few sentences in each of those. And it should be something that you're doing as part of your mentoring anyway, is to reflect on your practice and how it's developed. So finally, let's have a look. Let's just have a quick look. If you decided to do level 3, then obviously you need to do slightly different challenges. Now, level 3 is called Review Your Leadership. So it's about looking back on what you've done after you've delivered a program of mentoring. But again, this depends on how many hours you're prepared to put in. So if you do want to go for level 3, this is probably something you need to be doing alongside level 2 so that you can cover the challenges and cover the hours. You need to choose 3 of the challenges from this list. And so it could be challenge 1, which is list all the leadership skills you've developed. You could reflect in challenge 2 on one leadership task that you undertook. Challenge 3 is to give a presentation to others about how you established and led an activity. Challenge 4 is to work with a small group of leaders to carry out a review using something called a SWOT evaluation. If you're not sure what that is, there's plenty of information out there on the internet about what a SWOT evaluation is. You could ask your team to keep a respect diary for a couple of weeks in which they record some of your strengths and weaknesses, if you're brave enough to do that. Number 6, you could complete a performance summary for yourself. Reflect on yourself as a leader and look at your strengths and weaknesses. Again, quite a brave thing to do. And challenge 7 is to create a top tips for leadership guide in print. So obviously quite a substantial document to cover enough hours to make up 10 more hours to get another credit by doing level 3. Challenge 8 could be something that you've got an idea of your own on reviewing your practice, and that's something that you would discuss with your tutor, who, as I said, would probably be me in this case. So it gives you a range of things that you could do, but you can see that in order to build up 10 hours of credit from doing level 3, then you're going to need to make each one of those 3 challenges quite long. It's going to need to be over 3 hours each. It could be that you choose to do level 3 instead of level 2. And so this is something that you add on at the end or in a subsequent term once you've done some mentoring. So again, the credits work in the same way. 1 credit for every 10 hours of work, and 1 skills sheet has to be filled in for every 10 hours of work. The certificate is very nice. Once your e-portfolio is complete and it's been assessed, you'll be awarded the certificate. This picture doesn't do justice to it. It's on nice heavy-duty paper, embossed, and it looks just like the certificates that you would get for your GCSEs or A-levels or any higher qualifications that you do in the future. So you should certainly put that into your qualifications portfolio and keep it and write about it in any applications that you do for courses or employment in the future. This person happened to do 40 hours of work, so did several levels or a lot of hours for each level, and then would have completed 4 skills sheets to get 4 credits. In fact, this person did both level 2 and level 3 to build up enough hours in quite a lot of detail. So what I would say is, it's up to you how much of a challenge you want. You can just go for the 10 hours and the basic level 2, 1 skills sheet, summary of achievement at the end. And what you're doing in the mentoring program, over 1 full term of mentoring, you will easily achieve enough evidence and enough hours to achieve that. Potentially for 2 or 3 terms worth of work, you could be looking at 2 or 3 credits. I would say that you probably need to do the level 2 and the level 3, and the level 3 will need to be done more in your own time in order to get 4 or more credits. So now, I really mean finally, how do you sign up? So what we will need is a few details from you to register you for an ASDAN Learner e-portfolio, and then we'll be able to send you the login details so that you can manage it and you can keep track of your challenges that you've completed, and you can upload your evidence, and you can upload the document forms like the skills sheets and a summary of achievement when you need them. I've made it as easy as I can by making this bit.ly link. So if you go to bit.ly /edge leaders with the uppercase E and L, that will take you to the form. It's very basic information. It's basically your surname and your forename as you want it to appear on the certificate, and your gender. And then there are some additional optional questions which ASDAN would like to gather, but if you don't want to tell them, then that's up to you and you don't have to answer those. There's also a QR code that you can sign there, which will take you straight to the form. If you have any questions about the short course in leadership, please email me. Here's my email address. It is jeremy.thomas@abingdon.org.uk. All you need to do now is to start collecting that evidence for that portfolio, and good luck.